So in this tutorial, what we're going to be doing, we are going to convert the picture on the left to the picture on the right. So we're going to use the pattern on the left to draft the pattern on the right, just with few steps. So to do that, the simple thing we are going to do is to fold the cardboard paper that will contain the first pattern into two equal parts, and then make sure we are having the first pattern on 2D, that is folding it into two. Then we're going to place the folded edge on that. You see the edge here, we're going to place it on the folded cardboard paper, and then we are going to trace it out. So after tracing it out, we're going to do a little mathematics here. So we take a measurement from here to somewhere here, 1 inch. So from the edge of that tongue there, we take 1 inch measurement. So from here to here, 1 inch. So now the next thing we are going to do is place our ruler here to that measurement. You understand? Here, this point here to that measurement. So we're going to place our ruler across those 2 points, and then we are going to take a straight line to join the bolt down to the feather edge. So take a line down to the feather edge. So with that, we have already gotten what we want. So what we're going to do is to clean off the part that is not needed. So now you're going to add a curve at this point. You add the curve at that point there. Then clean off this part that is no longer needed. Then you extend this line to this point and make sure you have your curve. And with that, we have already gotten the pattern. So what we're going to do next is to cut it into shape. Remember to staple it so that you will have both sides the same. So after cutting it into shape, remove the staple pin, and then you have the full pattern. So give it your pattern facing tag, mark the facing. Here's the mark. So we're going to proceed to the next step. Remember to mark the centers because it is going to help during your lasting. So I'm going to punch a hole on the center in 2 places. This is going to help you to place the pattern correctly on the last during lasting. Then after that, you're going to take a measurement from here to somewhere here, 1/2 inch. So you take that measurement like that down to the feather edge, 1/2 inch down to the feather edge. See what I'm doing? Then come up here too, take 1/2 inch. Then what you're going to be doing next, staple it, and then here 1/2 inch. You see, just take it down to the feather edge, then here 1/2 inch. So join them with lines. Join them with lines. That's where the rope is going to pass. So take it up to this point, then measure from this point to somewhere here 1/2 inch again. So here is 1/2 inch. Then you bring it with a curve, then use your initiative. The space between the two lines is going to be about 0.3 inches. 0.3 inch. So see what I have now. So now we're going to cut our marking dots so that we'll be able to mark them out on our leather easily. So use my razor blade to cut some marking dots. So once that is done, because the other side is too small, I'm going to use my punch to create the dots. So you see what I did there. So with that, the pattern is ready. So we are going to proceed to the next step, which is marking out the pattern on our leather. So just remove the staple pin, and then you will have every details. So you see what we have. So now let's proceed. So once you've finished marking this way, you turn the pattern this way to mark for the other side of the foot. So let's cut the pattern out. So you see this part, I did not cut it into shape. You see the gap I left from the edge, about 1/2 inch. So remember to do that. Now the next thing you're going to do, take a measurement from the edge there to somewhere around the center. You take 2.5 inches. 2.5 inches. That is where you're going to apply your gum to attach your landing. 2.5 inches from the edge. You do the same on the other side. So from here to here, 2.5 inches. See the allowance here, that is why it is up to that 2.5 inches. So you take a line on that measurement there. That's where you're going to apply your glue, like I said before, to attach your landing. So now you apply your gum. So you have to also mark out the shape of the pattern on your landing, then measure the same measurement, 2.5 inch, draw a line, apply your gum within that same region. You see it, the same thing here. So now we are going to attach the landing with the upper. So now let's do that. So once you have attached the upper with the landing, turn the back, use your rag, rub it around to make sure the boot bonds properly. So you know we don't have to do that at the front so that we don't clean off our marking. So just rub the rag on the surface to make sure it bonds properly. Then after doing that, the next thing we are going to do is to cut it into shape. So after cutting it into shape, the next thing we are going to be doing is to stitch the edge round this way, come down here, come like this, then go to the other side. So that's what we're going to do next. So I have done that. You see the stitching. So after that stitching, we move to the next step. Now what you are going to do is to cut a leather that is the length should be the length at the front of that your pattern. From here to here is about 2 inches. So now we're going to place it at this point. Use your masking tape to hold it firmly so that when you are stitching, it will not move away from that point. So what this is going to do, it is going to create the housing where the rope, the elastic rope, is going to pass inside the pattern. So you see, make sure it falls within this range. You understand? Make sure the leather falls within that range. So now after doing that, you stitch on the marking. You see what I did here? So that's what you're going to do. Then you remove the masking and then cut off the excess leather. So we're going to cut off these lines here. Remember, you have to lock the stitches on this edge. You have to lock it. If not, once you have cut this part off, the thread might loose. So you have to lock the stitches on this edge, the edges there. So light the edge of the threads, line them up just for neatness. So punch a hole at this point here. You see my eyelet, so we're going to now install the eyelets. In this case, the previous pairs I made was black eyelet. That was based on the specification of my customer. So but this time around in this video, I'm using a golden eyelet. So you install your eyelets. So after that, this is elastic rope, elastic. So now here is the hack. I'm going to light the edge and then I'm going to pick my needle. Make sure your needle is long enough. Install your thread, then I'm going to stitch the thread to the mouth of the rope. So I'm going to make sure I stitch it to be very strong. So once you are sure it is holding the rope properly, the next thing you are going to do is to cut off the excess and then light the edge there so that it will not loose. Then the next thing you're going to do, take your shuka, shook it through that hole, the housing. This is my shuka, shook it there. Make sure you create a good allowance and then put your needle and then pull down, then you release the under, pull down, release the under, then the mouth is out. Pull it more, so you pull it and then just like that, and the rope will be in the housing. So just draw it. Sorry, I think I'm having a hook here. I have to fix it. Something was hooking it before, so I have released it. So you pull and you see it's already there. Then put your shuka on this side also, and then make sure you create the allowance. Then come over to this small side. You have to shook and then create another hole close to the eyelet on this side. You see what I did there? So now we're going to go through that point. This design really takes a lot of time, you understand? So you have to be patient. You have to be patient enough. So now put my needle through the hole and then pull. Then I pull it. So it is going easy, but it's not that easy anywhere. So I have to create another hole on this side. Use my razor blade, make sure it is wide enough. Then pull my needle from this side, then pull. So it is going so easy. Then let me recreate the allowance here, and then through my needle, then pull down this part, release the under, pull down again, release the under, and with that you have the mouth of the needle sticking out. So you have to be careful, because if the needle goes in to choke the wrong place, you will find it difficult to pull out the rope. So now cut off the excess, cut off the needle, and then this is what you're going to do. Pull, then pull this part. So once you have gotten the enough, I think you see where this is stopping at. I don't actually know the measurement anyway, but you see where it's stopping. So now I'm going to cut this. Make sure you cut from the center, and then pass it through the eyelet. Let me tell you what the length is. The length is about 5 inches, about 5 inches. So about 5 inches, that's the length. So now we're going to see it, the length 5 inches. So we're going to pass it through the eyelet now. So pass it through the eyelet, then pick this one, pass it through the eyelet, and now they are the front of the pattern. So the next thing we're going to do is to pick our clicker button or adjuster, whatever you choose to call it. So this one is coming to this side. So now we have it installed. You see it, one hole here, one hole the other side. So you press it down, you adjust. So now the next thing we're going to do is to add the cup for the rope. So from that clicker button, or from that adjuster to where we're going to attach, from here, this point to where we're going to attach our cup, is going to be 1.5 inches. 1.5 inches. So I'll take the measurement. All these things are very important. So take the measurement here and mark the two sides of the rope. So this is the cup we're going to use. So fix the cup to the rope, and then you make a knot. Make a knot that will end at that 1.5 inch measurement that we took. So you have to make the knot at least 3 times. Understand? So after making the knot at least 3 times, cut off the excess, then light the edge of the rope. Then you pull the cup up, you see it, to cover the knot. You see it? So it is very simple as that. So let's proceed to the next one. So fix the cup first into the rope, and then you make your knot 3 times again. Then light the edge, and then you pull the cup to cover the knot. So you see what we have? It is very simple. So the pattern is ready now. Let's proceed. So now it's time to last. Use 2 nails, pin your insole to your last. You can use your rubber band to hold it firmly before that. Then place your pattern, make sure it is sitting at the center. Remember those 2 dots at the top, so use it to set it. Then press it down this way. You see the point where I'm holding it. So once you are through, you are sure it is sitting properly, use your pin to pin it at that point. Then set the back, set the 2 back. Then set the back and pin the bolt with your nail. The reason you have to use nail at the back is because the pin is not going to hold it very strong, so that it will not move out from that position while you are trying to set the other parts. So that's why you're going to use a nail. So set them properly. So once you are done, cut the excess rope at the bottom. Use your super glue to hold it firmly to the body of the pattern so that it will not pull. You understand? So that it will not pull. So put super glue into that housing, make sure it is coming to the body of the pattern. Understand? Marry the 2 of them together. So this will help to hold it firmly even after lasting. So once you are done doing that, pull the upper, replace the pins to hold the landing on both sides, that same spot, and then pull up your upper properly, and then you are going to properly now last the landing. Pull to the front and pin, and then readjust the 2 sides until the landing is resting properly on the last. So pull, and then you repin it. Then turn to the other side, pull it again, and make sure you pull it properly to lap on the last. So now you see the landing is properly lasted. So now you see my rivets around. Then cut off some excesses. So after cutting off some excesses, you apply your gum and then last the landing first. So once you are done lasting the landing, remove the rivets that's the pins, remove everything, and then you cut down the crease at the bottom. After doing that, you install your front stiff or front stay or toe puff, whatever you call it. Then add your gum and pull down your main upper. So after that, this is what you're going to have. You then finish up the lasting. So you see it, apply your gum after you must have pulled down your upper, and then round off with the lasting. What I used as my toe puff is Mako 2 mm. There are many other materials you can use, but sometimes I prefer to use it. You can use fiberboard, and there are a lot of other materials, so it depends on what you like to use. So finish up with the lasting. So this is what we have after the whole process. So the next thing we're going to do now is to couple the footwear. So I'm using my stove heat to activate the gum. So you're going to bond the front first, then you go to the back, and then tap your mallet on it gently to help the bonding. So, and this is what we have arrived at. So the whole process is a bit time consuming, but it is worth it. I've already sold about 4 pairs of this particular design, so that is why I decided to share it with you. So follow the same process and you get the same result. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell icon to get updates, because more videos will be coming your way. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section. Have a nice day.